if you are ready to receive 50% backlash, you can put yourself out there 50%. That's the best answer I can possibly give, because there will be some people who just crap on your dreams.
I do think it used to offend me and bother me when people didn't believe in me. Because who are you to tell me what I can and can't do? It doesn't make any sense. But the truth is, I think they're ignorant to what's possible and ignorant to what I'm willing to do to achieve it.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1877, saying your dreams out loud is scary as F. Thought I was going to say it, didn't I? Yeah, you thought I was going to say it. No, I don't want to say it. I don't want to start the episode with a...
Did you put F in the title?
No, AF.
Oh,
just AF. Yeah. No, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to say anything too negative.
Well, I thought you might spell EFF. That's what I do sometimes is...
Oh.
I do what the F.
I didn't do that. Nope, I just put AF. Letter A, letter F. Absolute Frankie. That's what I did. I did a video one time, and I don't know, I have no idea if this is where you wanted to go with this episode. Actually, no, that's actually the next episode. Don't even worry about it. Pretend I even said anything. I remember one time, back in the day, I was working in New Jersey, I believe, at my old job, and I was working with a kid named Bob, and I was working in the library with Bob, and we were talking about the podcast, and I was like, dude, this job sucks, man. I hate this job. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be a podcaster. Like I had the podcast at this point already, and I said, I want to do this full time. Like, how do I do this full time? I want to do this full time. And he's like, Kev, nobody else is going to be Joe Rogan. He's like, you really think you're going to be Joe Rogan? You think you're going to be podcasting full time? And I remember how sad it made me that he doubted what I wanted to do. But Bob was the kind of guy that when
Bob like a anonymous
No,
name?
That's his actual name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his actual name. There's a lot of Bobs out there. You know? You have to be like some level of detective to figure out who Bob was. And if you are, shout out to you. But Bob was the kind of person who you'd get drunk with him and he would just be the most truthful. You'd get to see like the real, without ego version of him sometimes. Other times it was like a lot of extra ego. One night we were in the hotel and we'd done a little bit of drinking. And I was like, what do you want to do with your life?
Nice.
What would you like to do?
It's a great question.
I want a podcast. I want to do this podcast thing. And you kind of crapped on my dreams. Like, what are your dreams? And he's like, dude, I want to work for myself. I don't want to do this anymore either. I want to work for myself. And I remember that night he was, I don't want to say apologetic, but he's like, I know you could do it, man. I believe in you. Like you could do it. You could really do it. You could really be a podcaster and you could be a business owner and you could do all that. But I remember at the time how scary it was to say out loud that I wanted to be a podcaster. Because it does seem wildly unlikely. It's a weird dream/goal to have. Now, things have come full circle where when I go to weddings or when I meet people for the first time with Taryn and somebody says, what do you do? I love saying I'm a podcaster. Because most people haven't met someone that podcasts full time. They say, well, what do you do? No, that's my job. I'm a podcaster. A business owner, podcaster, entrepreneur, bit of a mogul, if I may say so myself. But now it's really cool. It's really cool to say that.
We're going to be a published author.
I'm going to be a published author. You ever met an author? I'm going to be one. I'll be one of these days. But it's really cool. It's really cool. And I think that maybe you don't tell people until you have enough results where they're not going to laugh at you. I can't guarantee that's going to happen. Maybe you only say it around people who you trust. Easier said than done because it's probably going to come up in the topic of conversation. But what I can say to you is when you do say it to the right person and they're supportive, that feels amazing. And then part two is when you do the thing for long enough, eventually you're super excited to tell people that you took a different path, even though you were laughed at. You were laughed at for taking that path in the beginning.
It's a weird thing too, because I've been wondering to myself, how important is it to put your dreams out there? how important is it to speak them into the world? Some books tell you don't talk about your goals because then that gives you the dopamine as if you've achieved it, and then that'll demotivate you to actually achieve it. Then there's other books that say you got to put yourself out there because then it'll hold you accountable publicly. No one wants to be a hypocrite. There's other people that say you got to put your goals and dreams out there, otherwise it's not real. You got to talk it and you walk it and you live it type of thing. And I'm honestly not sure.
Remember we did an episode on, I watched a YouTube video it said you should never tell the people around you what your goals are. And the number one reason is because if you do, they're going to shit on you. And I remember we did an episode on that. I was like, that's not a goals problem. That's a friend's problem.
100%.
That's just a bad friend group. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. There's a lot of people out there that would love to hear about your goals because they feel alone too. And they're waiting for someone to come up to them and say, hey, what are your goals? I have big goals too.
I was just on with a client and we were talking about how he doesn't have these conversations all the time. And I had this moment of gratitude of I get to have conversations about goals and dreams all the time. Sometimes it's exhausting and sometimes I feel like I work on other people's lives with them more than my own life. But I was on with a brand new client earlier. You know who you are. Shout out to you. And I thought to myself, whoa, Kevin and I have constantly surrounded ourselves with people that are heart-driven but no BS dream chasers. Goals and dreams, we get to talk about it all the time. I remember a time when, it would have to be a late night heart-to-heart. Even you just asking that question, hey man, what do you want to do with your life? That is the most important question. That's such an important question.
I agree.
Dude, brand new client onboarded. I love the first onboarding process because we get to ask that question. That's where this episode came up. What are your goals and dreams? What is the metaphorical mountain you're trying to climb? This person wants to be an actress. She's already a model. All these different things, business owner. I love that question. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to achieve? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your dreams? And when you ask that question, there was someone who was a long-term listener of our show who said the last time that she listened was around episode 1,000. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are at 2,000 now. And she went to book club and then she came on a breakthrough session.
We're almost at
2,000. Almost 2,000, yeah. And I remember thinking, this is so cool that I get to constantly talk to people about their goals and dreams. But the way this episode came up was exactly the opposite of that, which is who out there watching or listening to this feels like they don't get to talk about their goals and dreams? Like, who out there is scared to share them? There's someone that I'm coaching that is so afraid. She thinks about her goals and dreams all the time behind the scenes, but she's scared to talk to other people about them. She's scared to put them out there. And I guess let's just talk about why that is and what kind of courage it takes and vulnerability it takes to do that. And then, is it a friend problem? Is it a courage problem? Should you do it on social media? Should you talk about it with close friends and family first? I don't know if I know the right approach around any of this because I feel like at the beginning of my journey, I had vision boards. I know that. I still have pictures of them. Some of them are very silly and some of them are achieved and some of them are things that I'm still working toward. But you and I were talking goals and dreams pretty much from when we reconnected to now.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I wanted to talk about them. I just didn't really have anybody to talk about them with yet. So I think that was a piece of it. And the other thing, too, was it was exciting. Like these new ideas and these new hobbies and this new direction. It was exciting to try out different stuff. So it was... The whole thing was you would talk about doing something. You would go do the something. And the whole ride home, you would talk about the thing that you just did. And it became this, like, what was that? What was that experience like versus what we thought? Oh, interesting. What did you think about this? Yeah. No, I didn't think that. I thought something else. And it was just this brand new world of new ideas that were super exciting. And that felt like living. It's weird. It probably sounds so friggin' dumb. But it was like that was living for the first time. That was doing stuff that was outside of the box for the first time. It was exciting. It was real. I was like really invested in what we were doing because it wasn't just a job that was helping somebody else get rich. It was a passion. And I don't know if you can replicate that. I remember the first, like, really, it was like the first time I ever put myself out there. I went out with a group of friends and we went and met they were new to me friends, but the group already had met them. And I did like a seminar until 2 o'clock in the morning about chasing your dreams and dream chasing. And I didn't know much, but I was passionate about it. And I was super excited. And it was the best. It was the absolute best. It was the absolute best. And one of the reasons is I had people in my life who allowed me to talk about it. That was one. This is what I would say. You said you don't know how much you should put yourself out there. I don't either. I can't claim to know for certain. I believe it has to do with how much feedback you're ready to receive. I think that's the best answer I can possibly give is if you are ready to receive 50% backlash, you can put yourself out there 50%. That's the best answer I can possibly give, because there will be some people who just crap on your dreams. There will be other people who are super supportive of your dreams. I don't know how to know who you're going to get. I don't know how somebody's going to react. The other thing that's always been very helpful to me is when my mom and grandmother told me to go get a job because they didn't believe I could be successful at podcasting, it wasn't because they didn't believe in me. It was because, one, they were afraid I was going to suffer, and I did. And two, a lot of people put their beliefs on you. Well, do I think that I could do that? I don't think I could do that. How the hell is Kev going to do that? I think that's just a normal human reaction.
Yeah, the old me would never have agreed with that. I do think it used to offend me and bother me when people didn't believe in me. Because who are you to tell me what I can and can't do? It doesn't make any sense. But the truth is, I think they're ignorant to what's possible and ignorant to what I'm willing to do to achieve it. This person earlier wants more conversations. She said, there's only a couple people in my life right now that I feel comfortable talking about my dreams with. And I could tell she was reluctant to tell me. When I asked, what are your dreams? She was scared to tell me because they're big. They're big. They're as big as they come. Not as big as they come, but they're very, very, very big. Statistically, unbelievably big. And I said, I can tell a lot of people when you share that with other people, I can see that they probably get uncomfortable, and it gets uncomfortable. And so you probably don't share this with very many people. She said, well, I'm only comfortable sharing it with a couple people. And then she named those people. One of them is the one that referred her. I said, yeah, but you got to understand. And she said, I'm super comfortable talking to you about it. I said, well, that's because I have big dreams too. And by the way, that other person who referred you, she has huge dreams too. So why would we shit on you? We have just as big of dreams, if not bigger. So it's when you're around people who have self-belief, who have goals, who have dreams, who track habits, who care about their future, who want to make the world a better place, who care about self-improvement. I mean, that's what Next Level Nation is. It's a private group where it's bully-free. You get to talk about goals and dreams and growth in a safe environment where you're not going to get crapped on. It's cool to talk about self-improvement and personal growth in Next Level Nation. It's not cool to do that at the bar.
No, don't do that. That ain't the way. Because I think the hardest thing about this whole thing is if you internalize somebody else's doubt as your own. I think that's why it's so hard. It's so hard to put yourself out there because, okay, what happens? You go out and you meet a group of friends, and one person you feel comfortable sharing your dreams with, and the four other people you haven't seen in a couple of years. And your friend goes and says, hey, let's just use Kev. Kev's doing this new thing. It's super cool. Kev, tell them. It's like, no, I'm good. I don't really want to tell you. Because if you're not into it, then it's just going to shut me down for the rest of the time. I'm not going to want to talk to you guys. Because now I don't even get to show a piece of who I am to you. And then now I know you don't approve of this piece of who I am as a human being and what I want to do in the world. We're not going to be able to spend time together. There's no way. I think it goes back to the episode we did about Tori Aleto's quote, where it was something along the lines of, what if one of the reasons you're not setting boundaries is not because of the boundaries themselves, but the truth it will reveal about the people around you? Something like that. If I go to Alan and I say, hey man, I have this thing that I really want to do. I don't know, something broke free in me and this is what I want to accomplish. And Alan laughs at me, we're never going to be the same after that. We couldn't be. Unless I suppress these things that I have determined are super important to me, or I sit down with Alan and say, hey man, that was kind of messed up. Like, I would never crap on you. Again, Alan's not a good example, but
In the beginning, you had no problem telling me about all your goals and dreams. How did you know? This is just a question I want to know the answer to, both selfishly, but I also think there's something in it for the listeners. How did you know I wouldn't crap on your dreams? I've never once had someone come to me, tell me their goals and dreams, and not tried to help them in some way.
you can tell that excited you. It was different. It was just a different energy, and you were already you were chasing your dreams. You had left your job. You were doing this entrepreneur thing. You were chasing your dreams. So it wasn't like you were going to look down on me for wanting to talk about it.
Dude, what would it be like if you never had someone who, I don't think you can. This is I don't think you can achieve your dreams without people who support you. Like, I didn't start really achieving my dreams to the extent that we are now until after Emilia. It does make a lot of sense. I don't know if you can achieve your goals and dreams without a good support group. I've never said that out loud before. Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes.
There's so many layers of... It's not just the energetic support. It's the permission you get. I'm planning. I'm Matt's best man. Okay, I'm the best man at Matt's wedding. He told two of the other guys in the wedding party that I would probably need help because I'm so overwhelmed with work.
Yeah,
Do you know why he said that?
I told Emilia that. She said, "Oh my goodness, I want friends like that."
Do you know why he said that? Because he's an entrepreneur. He knows. He gets it. He understands. He has seen, besides Taryn and Alan, Matt has seen more of the behind the scenes than anybody else. I lived with Matt for 2 or 3 years at the beginning of this. He knew exactly what it took. He understands. He knows what it's like to the degree that he knows. But that's a special thing. Him and I have a very special thing when it comes to that. Same with you. You and I have a very special thing. But that's the thing, is the dream is that's the sexy thing that you put on the wall. Everything underneath that is, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it to this. I'm not going to be able to make it to this. I might not be able to make it to this. I am going to have to leave early from this.
I might have to move away.
I might have to move away. I'm not going to be home for this holiday. There's just a lot of things that can come with that. I think one of the reasons it's hard to tell people about your goals is sometimes people are going to get less of you and they don't like that. And I'm not making that wrong. Understandably so. I can't imagine I would have lasted in a relationship with most women. Genuinely. I cannot imagine that it would.
Can you go into that?
We don't do anything on Saturdays. I work on Saturdays. There is no early days really. Not right now, not in this season of grind. It's not, hey, can we get lunch? I could count on the one hand the amount of times I've eaten lunch with Taryn during the week in the last 5 years. It never happens. I don't eat lunch. Very rarely do I ever eat lunch. We don't eat breakfast together. I don't have time for that. And I won't say I don't have time. That's not the way my day's set up.
Yeah.
I don't.
You could
eat
make
breakfast.
time for that, but
Eventually I will. But
Yeah.
not right now. And it's just that. It's dream chasing is hard as hell.
when you asked Bob, what do you want to
Bob.
do with your life?
Sorry.
What do you want to do with your life? And then he was vulnerable and admitted that he wants to work for himself. Why do you think most people don't admit what they really want? Because I never want to come off, I'm an engineer. That's my new, I do that on other shows all the time now. That actually works really well. It's been working super well.
Yeah.
I love it. I've always sort of had big goals and dreams, and I was so naive. I just said them. Almost always. I always said them out loud. I remember, I'll never forget this. I was at a party once, and I was wearing an iRobot shirt because I worked at iRobot at the time. And people love robotics shirts at parties. And I said, I'm looking forward to when I graduate, I'm going to make 6 figures. And one of my acquaintances, friends at the time, literally pulled me aside and said, you know you're not going to actually be able to do that. And I was like, why not? What? It's like, he's like, well, you're not going to make 6 figures out of college. Like, you're not really going to do that. It's like, no, I'm going to go do that now. Like, I'm going to do that for sure. It's not like the first person in the world to do that, you know? So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do it. But he was just very dickish with that whole thing. It's like, what? Because you can't do it? You think I can't? I don't.
Because most people don't. I've been telling you this since the beginning. There's a lot of people. Some people think about it. Some people talk about it. Some people act about it, and some people are it. And I think a lot of people they talk about it. It's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. How many people say, yeah, I'm gonna get this membership and I'm gonna lose the weight or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start that business. It's like, I hope so. I do. I hope you do. Bob's not chasing his dreams. Not last time I knew. Bob reached out to me drunk a couple, 6 months ago. And I didn't answer because I'm not trying to go back. No. We're good. We're good. I'm not interested.
So when you ask people, or Bob asked you, what do you want to do with your life? It's a great question.
Great question.
Why don't people share the truth?
Because they probably are afraid they're going to get shit on.
And they're afraid that if they get shit on, they won't bounce back from that?
It's almost
for
like,
me, it always just made me angry and driven.
Yeah, but you're the weirdo.
For sure. I'm not making that. I agree with that, and I understand that. It definitely drove me. I had a list of people to prove wrong. I don't have a list anymore, but they're in my head for sure. Yeah, I've got the list. I
think you feel like you lose support of them. It's almost like, well, I can't talk to you about that anymore. I can't talk to you.
What does that mean, though, for the actual goal?
It means you lose support. Even though you never really had it, but you lose it, what feels like support.
So if you got shit on, it would not drive you? It would shut you down?
No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't drive me when people doubt me. I doubt myself more than anybody else on the planet could ever doubt me.
I had a person I coach tell me, I'm so afraid to put my goals and dreams out there because if they doubt me, I already doubt me, so it's going to confirm my doubt.
I resonate with that for sure.
So you basically had to cherry pick who you told about your dreams?
Yeah, and then eventually it crossed a chasm. It's like, whatever, man. Good for whatever. You do you, I'll do me. Now, what do I say now behind the scenes? See you at the top. Yeah, whatever. You don't believe in me? Whatever. We'll see you at the top. That's all. We'll see you at the top. We'll see you when you get there.
I love it.
And I get there. But now, I have more
somewhat
belief.
of self-belief. Yeah, exactly.
Now I have more belief.
This is my conclusion, and I know we got to jump. If you're out there and you have high self-belief, really, really, really high self-belief, deep down when you're alone, you can tell people and it'll drive you. And they will doubt you. And it'll drive the hell out of you. If you doubt yourself deep down, you got to be real careful who you tell your goals and dreams to. And you got to start real small, and you got to create a support group of people that believe in you, for sure.
It might even be better to go find strangers in a similar group, because they all believe in what they're doing. They're probably going to believe in you too.
Group coaching's on fire with that. It's 100%. A lot of podcasters talking about podcasting, and they all believe in each other. It's really cool to see. I don't know if I understood how much that matters, because I've been doubted so much. I was so naive. I just told everybody all the time.
Yeah, but that's your truth. So you could handle getting laughed at. So it doesn't really matter. I don't think you did it wrong. I think you did it your way. It worked. You know? I don't know if I've ever been laughed at by another podcaster. Well, it makes sense. Yeah, you know what it's like. You know what it's like to want to do this full time. You understand. You understand how the imagination, that moment where you're like, if I could do that full time, are you kidding me? What a world that would be. You know what that's like. If anything, and that's doesn't even have to be podcasting. Imagine a world where you had full choice what you got to do every day. Now, I don't really, because we're running a business, but I do.
Yeah.
I could choose to be less successful right now if I wanted to and work less. I don't want to, because that's not why I started this, but there's something to that. So I think you'd be better off going. All right, last thing before we go, because this is like a very hyper conscious episode.
This is good stuff, man.
This reminds me of the old one.
This is great.
If you have people who are insecure around you, I would be very cautious about telling them your big goals and your big dreams, because it's not that they don't want to see you shine. They're afraid of what you shining means for them.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's just survival. I think it's just survival.
Self-preservation.
Yeah. My mom and my grandmother didn't want to see me fail. They didn't want to see me suffer. They didn't want to see me broke. All of the things that I've done over the last 7 years, they didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
Every time you get a new job or how's business? It's like, yeah, no, we're still struggling. We're riding the struggle bus, but it's better. It's better than it was last time. Well, maybe by a little bit. We're going to be all right. And I just
kept
saying
tell them
that.
Now? Mansions and Benzes?
I tell them, yeah, no, it's a little bit better than last time. Pretty much. Or depending on what the season is.
Yeah.
Maybe it sucks right now. Maybe it's brutal. Maybe the economy's in a rough place. Maybe, But I think that's why finding community is so important, because those people already have that in common with you. They already have dreams in common with you. If you go find a dream-chasing group. That's why I think Next Level Nation is so valuable. Not just because it's our group, any group that is about dream-chasing or entrepreneurship or whatever the thing that you're doing is, but there can't be any toxicity in there. It has to be positive. Because all it takes is one bad joke to break someone's belief. One bad joke. One little thing that instills doubt in someone. Now, you don't want to do that. So you got to find a group of people who aren't going to do that. Son?
For anyone who wants to achieve more, shoot for their own next level, shoot for a new goal, new dream, takes a lot of courage to put that out there. Just be careful depending on your level of self-belief. The person I coached earlier has a lot of self-belief, I can tell. So I think it might actually drive her to put it out there more.
Mm.
For someone who does struggle with self-doubt, I would say put the small stuff out there, hit it, put more small stuff out there, hit it, now medium stuff, hit it, and work your way up like a staircase. If you do have a ton of drive and a ton of self-belief and you really, really, really believe in yourself a lot, I really do think you can say, hey, I'm gonna go, be a star. And that can actually drive you to that. For me, it drove me. Very last thing, you have to find a support group of people who both challenge you to reach your potential, but also support your goals and dreams. It's I support you, Kev, all day. Like, you told me your dreams, and I support your dreams, and I believe in your dreams, and I believe in you. And I also push you and challenge you to step up. I always joke, I don't know if it ever lands, but I never like tell you a dream and then like go to the beach. You have to have the accountability piece on the other side. And so Emilia and I, we have goals and dreams together, and we believe in each other, but we also do have levels of accountability that we hold each other to. Same with you and I, right? I'm not saying, hey, we're going to build a big, successful, positively impactful self-improvement business, and then I am just fluffing
Smoking
off
darts.
all the time.
Smoking darts and day drinking.
Smoking darts. Apparently we got confirmation from our team that is popular in Canada, apparently.
I knew that.
Smoking darts. You did
I'm
know
familiar with the Canadian vernacular.
that. Because of...
I used to watch a show called Trailer Park Boys. I told you that.
I know, and that's from Canada?
Oh, the most Canadian.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the most Canadian ever. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Do not watch it around children. Do not watch it. It's vile. But there was a time I very much enjoyed that in the past. It's hard to go back now because it's like, I can't. But yeah,
is that what you aspire to in your life?
No longer.
No longer.
No longer.
What do you want to do with your life? That's a good question to ask. Just make sure it's with the right people.
It's a great question. We used to ask that too much. Alan and I would be out to dinner, and it's like the waiter or the waitress. It's like, you ever thought of your deepest, darkest, wildest dreams that you'd like to share with the two strangers that you're serving avocados?
Goals and dreams.
Avocados to right now?
Dreams, man.
You gotta
That
be
was
careful.
awesome.
It was awesome.
People loved it. Some people loved it.
Some people didn't love it, though. More people didn't love it, I would say. What'd you say?
Maybe I was.
You were
naive.
blinded.
I don't know.
Yeah,
was I blinded?
You were blinded by it.
I feel like everybody loved it.
Some people loved it.
Some
I think
people loved it.
sometimes it's a nice little. It's a bright spot. I think it can definitely be a bright spot, an exciting moment in a day.
If you don't have an answer to that question, I would say check in with it.
100%. 100%. All right, Next Level Nation, I cannot promise you much, but I can promise you that we will be here every single day for the foreseeable future to help you get to the next level of your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Maybe you do not have that community built in yet that you're looking for. This is a great place to start. That's why we do episodes every day, so you are never alone when it comes to dream chasing. So make sure you are subscribed on whatever platform you are watching or listening on so you never miss an opportunity to get to the next level.
And if anyone wants help achieving their dreams, figuring out clarity leads to certainty, leads to action, leads to momentum, leads to results. That's really what I'm trying to do. And then unfortunately, results leads to less clarity. And so the coaching is to re-inject clarity, goals, metrics, habits, skills, identity work. If you feel lost, hopeless, directionless, please reach out. I adore helping people achieve their goals and dreams, and that's what I get to do for a living.
Dream come true.
I've done it several times today. It's
Dream
been
come true.
exhausting, but also awesome.
I'm sure it was a deep-seated dream of yours to work with someone like myself, and I'm very grateful that I was able to make that dream come true for you. It's just maybe my greatest accomplishment.
That was my childhood dream.
Yes.
To work with Kevin Palmieri.
Many people have had that.
You were on someone's phone background, so...
I was on somebody's phone background, yes. It was weird. That was a weird time. But shout out to that person for being an amazing human and I don't know if they're in the community anymore, but a former community member doing good in the world. All right, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep dreaming. Next Level Nation.